It's time for pretty good news from the Wisconsin Maritime Museum.
Welcome aboard. I'm Shane Lee of the Wisconsin Maritime Museum in Manitowoc. July 26th marked the 76th anniversary of the sinking of Manitowoc-built submarine USS Robalo. While that loss of life certainly does not reflect my usual good news profile, I do have a silver lining. I was able to connect with the grandson of one of the crew members, and you can make sure that the crew will be remembered and honored. USS Robalo SS-273 was the 9th submarine built by the Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company just up the Manitowoc River from the museum. She was launched on May 9, 1943, and the crew began taking her on sea trials in Lake Michigan. Among the crew members was radio technician First Class Humphrey Ivey. The California native wrote letters home about his time in the Clipper City. His grandson Kevin Ivey now shares them with you.
We leave tomorrow for New Orleans, and just in the nick of time too, for the snow is just about ready to fall. It's really chilly here now. Everyone wears hunting caps. The kids wear earmuffs and arctics, and the ladies fur coats. I would like to see a good snowfall again, but just in pictures. We'll drop you a card in New Orleans.
Robalo was commissioned on September 28, 1943, under the command of Lieutenant Commander Manning Kimmel. The first war patrol was pretty uneventful, but the action picked up dramatically in Patrol Number 2 when Robalo earned 2 battle stars.
He gets attacked by a Betty bomber, a Japanese Betty bomber. Well, the periscope is unrepairable, and the long-range periscope is damaged, but he can continue on. He spends the next week hunting Japanese merchantmen. 2 weeks later, he finally sneaks up, and in his third attack, sends out a blast of 6 torpedoes, 2 of which he records hitting this Japanese tanker and sinking it.
Robalo left Fremantle, Australia on June 22, 1944 for her third and final patrol. On July 2nd, a contact report stated Robalo had sighted 2 Fuso-class Japanese battleships with air cover and 2 destroyers for escorts just east of Borneo. No other messages were ever received from Robalo, and she was presumed lost. The next communication from a Robalo crew member came in the form of a note dropped from a cell in a prisoner of war camp. The note gave the names of Robalo's 4 survivors and the fact that the sub had hit an enemy mine on July 26th. The men were never heard from again. Robalo sank on Ivey's 32nd birthday. The submariner had written this letter to his mother about 1 year earlier.
War has taught me to think more deeply than ever before, and that thought being that the greatest treasures of all are a loving family group and good health. Please excuse me for waxing philosophic, but I mean it.
The final location of USS Robalo remained unknown until its discovery in May of 2019. The Seascan survey team found the sub off the east coast of Balabac Island in the Philippines. The Iveys learned the big news on Thanksgiving Day 2019.
So we Google Robalo. Here is Project Gato, and this group of guys from the Seascan survey team claim that they have found the submarine. We couldn't believe it. I said, guys, come over, look at this. Thanksgiving dinner is interrupted. We're all standing around it, and we hit the video, and we cannot believe our eyes.
The Naval History and Heritage Command confirmed in February 2020 that the wreck is indeed Robalo, the final resting place for 77 soldiers. The POWs bring the loss of life to 81. The men were gone too soon, but their bravery, sacrifice, and memory will live on.
For more information and video of the discovery of USS Robalo, you can go to the website OnEternalPatrol.com/Discoveries.htm. I also want to give a special thank you to Carl Herwood of Project Gato and Neil Krumbeck of the Seascan survey team. In this week's featured artifact, Lakeshore Artists Guild President Cheryl Mahold talks about her favorite piece of the museum in the Wisconsin-built Boats Gallery.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Mahowald. I'm the president of the Lakeshore Artists Guild, and my favorite artifact at the Maritime Museum is the L&C. The reason I like this is it's just such a classic, beautifully handcrafted boat. It also, with the canopy, I can totally envision it going up the river in the African Queen. I can visualize Cleopatra lounging back here on the cushion being fed grapes and fanned. So there's that, sort of the imagination that is sparked when you look at it. I also love the fact that it has like a teeny tiny wheel, and the steering mechanism is actually rope, it's not cables. And I think just the beauty of the wood is wonderful.
Thanks, Cheryl. I also think of African Queen when I look at LNC. Perhaps a better name would be Humphrey B. Let's keep motoring with our joke of the day with submarine curator Karen Duvall.
What do you call a boat of very polite football players? A good sportsmanship.
Thanks, Karen. Speaking of good sportsmanship, I love how the computer-generated fans in empty stadiums never seem to boo. Just a reminder, no matter how bad things may seem, at least the National Hockey League postseason is on. I will be cheering for the Minnesota Wild, who only made the tournament because of the playoff expansion this year. And that is pretty good news.
Pretty Good News is funded in part by a grant from the Wisconsin Humanities Council with funds from the National Endowment for the Humanities.